Yeah, we were really trying to define what was the HR space, both nationally and internationally, because there's a lot of influence on the HR community, which comes from beside that immediate set of HR criteria around compensation or around reward or around, I don't know, talent management or whatever it may be. So it was really interesting to think about the influence of strategy, to think about the influence of neuroscience, to think about the influence of behavior and psychology. So we were trying to look at all of those factors because they affect people. It was really very interesting to look at the thinking processes overall. There are a lot of people who have been in the HR space in the broad sense who've been thinking about these things for a long time. What we were really trying to establish this year was whether there was something new and innovative that we hadn't heard before to really move things along. And we were looking at that from a particular space. How do you manage in a knowledge environment? How do you manage in an uncertain environment? How do you create innovation? And we found that there were people thinking about it, but it would have been great had there been more people thinking about it. We had the same trouble in the States, to be honest with you. There are people, it's a bigger country, so there were more people thinking about things, but overall, we would like to have seen as judges really a kind of shift in thinking overall, and we're hoping that emerges in the coming years. If we as judges were to fast forward a year, myself included of course in that, we would like to think about what thinking exists in terms of the interfaces between human resources and adjacent areas. So how do we move thinking from the 20th century to the 21st century? How do we think increasingly about a knowledge space, about innovation, globalization, the diversity? How do we cover areas like neuroscience, behavioral economics? Because really to look at things in the round on how people behave will make a big difference, rather than looking at specific details about business partners in HR or compensation and reward systems in HR, just to broaden things out rather than be so specific.